Hello and welcome to Rustic Pathways. I hope all of you enjoy working with us this summer. My name is Mara. I'm part of the finance team, and when you submit an expense report, it's going to be reviewed by me, so that's why I get to train you. Okay, let's start out with what Expensify is. It's a software platform that makes expense reporting as easy as possible. This is their slogan, expense reports that don't suck. They really try to live up to that. So they are a young and innovative group, and they try their best to make expense reporting painless, and I'll do my best to make this training video painless too. Okay, so by now you should have all received an email inviting you to join Expensify. You need to use that email to log on every time. It's important that you stick with that email and log on via the link in that email. That puts you under the Rustic corporate account, and that makes sure that your expense reports come to me and that you're able to be reimbursed through us. Okay, so that email is important. If you have not received that email, let us know. Send an email to Mara@Rustic Pathways or to finance@Rustic Pathways, but let us know if you haven't received that email, and CC your supervisor, because maybe you're missing other things as well. So communication is key here at Rustic. Always keep everybody in the loop. All right, so expense report policy. You need to compile all of your expenses from the summer and try to submit one report at the end of your work commitments. I know that all of you have different work commitments. Some people's projects end in June, July, August. Doesn't matter when it ends, just submit one report. The one thing that's important is to remember that you have to submit by September 15th. So for all of you procrastinators out there who finish in June and haven't submitted, you need to submit by September 15th or you won't get your money back. You won't be reimbursed. So the other thing that we require is receipts. Every expense needs a receipt, and we're flexible on it. If you've lost your receipt, sometimes happens. If you purchased your expense with a credit card, you can sometimes use your credit card, a snapshot of your credit card statement. As long as it has, the required information, that will suffice. If not, you can handwrite a receipt, and the handwritten receipts need specific information with them, like the name of the merchant, the date of the purchase, the items purchased, what their value was, and then the total amount spent. And then again, just sign and date it. Okay. How do I get my receipts into Expensify? There's a lot of different ways, but I'm going to go over the most simple way, which is to use the app. Most of us have our cell phone with us all the time, so download the free app from Google Play or the iTunes App Store, and then within your phone, you open up your Expensify app and take a picture of your receipt, and that's all you have to do. Once you download the app and log in for the first time using that email, your app is now linked to your Expensify account, and all of the pictures of the receipts that you submit will automatically go there, and they will start smart scanning as long as you have smart scan turned on, and it defaults to on, so you don't have to actually turn it on, you have to turn it off. So they will start smart scanning, and hopefully by the time you sit down and are ready to submit your report, they will be done smart scanning, but we'll get to smart scanning later. It's a neat feature. The other way you can is if you don't download the app, or if you're on a computer that doesn't have, well, the computer has the websites, so, well, if you're somewhere where you don't have the app, you can email the receipts to receipts@Expensify. Again, it has to come from the email that you use to log on. Your mother can't just send an email for you to receipts@Expensify. They won't know how to link that account. That email really is important. The other thing is, once you're in the Expensify software program, you can directly upload from your computer, and I'll show you that as well. But Expensify accepts everything, all kinds of um, um, attachment extensions, GIF, JPEG, PNG, PDF, all of it. They accept it all. So really is a innovative program. Okay, so now how do we actually get into Expensify? This is our little checklist. We will come back to that. It's what keeps me on task, but for now I'm going to actually show you the interface with Expensify. So here's a handy, beautiful little picture. Every time you log into Expensify, there's a different picture. They're always beautiful. Again, put in your email, your password, sign in. It will bring up your window will be blank. Mine has reports in it. Over here, this little icon here is filled. It will be blue for you. So you just click on the little blue arrow and choose account settings. Here's where you're going to set up your name, your full name. I just went with Mara RP. You can set your photo. I'm not really going to walk you through this too much. It's pretty simple. It's basic account settings. But here is where you add in your bank account. So you're going to click on reimbursement and click add deposit account. Again, yours will be blank. And again, here you see how helpful Expensify is. If you choose login to online bank account, it has a list of popular banks here in the US. So you choose your bank, and then it'll just ask you what your account number is, and you'll fill that in, and you'll be all set. It's pretty simple. For those of you who do not have one of those banks, you can manually enter your account information here with the routing number and your account number from a check. Again, fill in your routing number, account number here, choose checking, and then your first name and last name. And this, the only important part about this is no nicknames. You know, fill it in as you have it on your bank account. Okay, click Save and Continue, and you're done with setting up your bank account. As long as it's green over here, that's good. As long as there's no red, you're all set. One important thing is you may use PayPal, but Rustic does not, so we do not have a withdrawal account. Since we don't have a withdrawal account, we cannot reimburse you to your deposit account. So do not choose PayPal. We have to put in a bank and banking information up here. Okay, so I skipped over the last slide that said expense report checklist. So from here, we're going to jump into how to create a report, how to upload your expenses. So click on expenses, and within my account, I have lots of expenses already submitted. You will have it blank, and over here at new expense, you just click on new expense, receipt. You have a receipt. It'll go to somewhere in your computer where you're adding it from. I have a folder. Here's my banana vendor receipt. I'm going to click OK, and down here it says uploading receipt. And here you can see that it's starting to smart scan, and this will take a while. So, you know, keep uploading your other receipts. If you really want to get it done and you don't want to wait for smart scanning, and you're okay with filling out all of the date and merchant name yourself, you can skip this by clicking fill out the details. For me, I'm just going to leave this going right now. You can see that it's the same receipt over and over again. I'm just going to click on it, and here, when you come into this window, you're most likely this policy over here on the right corner is going to say none, and we don't want that. None is bad. See all the red X's that appeared? We want to go back to the RP USA seasonal staff. That should be the only policy that's in your drop-down menu, so it's pretty basic. These will be blank when you submit. you're just going to choose your class. Your class is the list of countries that you can possibly be in. We're going to stick with Tanzania since that's what we're going with. And the department, you have a choice. Most of you are going to be here with program leading, so we choose program leading, and the location is field. If it's blank, you're just going to choose field. Everybody in the company only has 2 choices of location, field or corporate, so just choose field. Okay, that was a wrong statement, but you'll never know. You'll never know that some people in the company have another location besides field and corporate. So anyways, as you can see, there's something wrong. There's a red exclamation point here saying that there's a violation. It says it's potential duplicate expense, which means that, yes, when we went back to my expenses, see, still smart scanning, there's Mr. Banana Vendor here. So we're going to go back to this and, oh, I chose the wrong one. We're going to go back to this one and say save. Okay, I just had to jump around in there and I didn't explain it to you because we'll get there. Anyways, this said the potential duplicate expense, and that's okay. We're like, resolve, yes. Just ignore. Okay. So how do we allocate this? If you've been smart scanning, your merchant name will be already filled in, your date will already be filled in, and your amount and your currency. So if you turned off your smart scanning, you're going to want to fill in your merchant name, the date, and the amount, and it will default to US dollars. It'll always be on US dollars, but that's not what we had, so we choose Tanzanian shillings. And you know, this again is a long list, and it's not necessarily always in alphabetical order because some of the currencies switch around, but you just start typing T and it'll pull up everything with T and tell you Z to narrow it down, and then there's luckily only one currency that has TZS, so that's how you choose your currencies and change it around. And now we are going to jump back to our PowerPoint slide because here's our category, and you have to know which category you're going to choose. So we're going to jump back to the PowerPoint slide. Which category should I choose? Trip ground is for all of your in-country program expenses. Virtually from the minute you get to your program site, anything that you spend for the program is going to be trip ground, except if it's a medical expense for one of the clients. So TOC stands for trip operating cost. So if while they're on the trip you have to buy, you know, over-the-counter medicines or Band-Aids or, you know, throat lozenges, that's going to go into TOC medical. The other thing is TOC transit accommodations. And this is still here just because I haven't convinced my boss to take it out. But transit accommodations is the most often misused allocation that we have because people see transit and they think, oh, yeah, this is for my, you know, for my parking or for my taxi or for my subway, you know, but that's not it, because the second half of transit is accommodations. So this is for hotels for like while you're traveling and you have a layover. There are a couple of programs that we run out of Thailand and Singapore that have long flights associated with them and you actually have to lay over. So that's what this one expense is for. It's very specific and most of you will not use it. Visa and immigration fees are pretty self-explanatory. When you're entering a country, if you have to pay a visa fee or an immigration fee, that goes there. Training and certification, again, self-explanatory. The one caveat here is that if you do a WIFR training, you do need to CC your supervisor on the expense report. They do need to know how much they're spending the country directors and your supervisors, they need to know how much they're spending on their training. CCing them will let them know. Flights, again, self-explanatory, and TOC, other TOC, which sounds redundant, but it's for that one-off expense. You know, like the best expense, the best example I can have is for the person who leaves their phone behind or leaves something behind on their program, and you have to mail it back to them, and so your postage would go there. You know, it really is that one-off expense that you don't know where it goes. Okay, so back to our Expensify interface. You've chosen your category, and we've filled in trip ground from our choice, and everybody who's in the RP seasonal staff, you will see this same list. And you'll notice that all of these things are on the slide that I just showed you, except for bank and credit card feeds. That is a choice for if you use your credit card or take cash out of an ATM while you're in the country, and the cash is not for your own personal spending but for spending on supplies for the program or something, then if your bank assigns a fee to that, or your credit card does, that's what those are for. Bank and credit card fees for expenses that are associated to Rustic, not for your own personal spending. All right, so again, that's category. Now here's your projects, and when you get here, it should default to NA. Please don't leave it as NA. It is important that we know which programs you're spending money on. It's how we allocate and keep everything in the budget. You can sort of, instead of scrolling through this huge long list, you can sort of give it a head start. If you type in OE, that stands for open enrollment, and that's what all of our programs are this summer. A few of you might be on a groups program, and that would be GRP, but most of you will be on OE. And then if you put in your hyphen, space, and then you can start typing. So we were in Tanzania, so as soon as we hit T, it brings up all of the countries that begin with T. So Tanzania, and we'll just choose the Ultimate African Adventure, because that one sounded like fun to me. So we put in our Ultimate African Adventure, and then we get to our comment. That was supposed to be blank. I hope you didn't see me just delete that comment. But when you start with a fresh report and the fresh expense, it's going to be blank. But I like to have comments, and we need them. So fill in your comments, and let me know what the purchase was for, why you needed it, you know, if you were purchasing, you know, medical supplies for a person, put in their name, put in as much information as you can. And this is an expense comment. Later we'll get to report comments, but this is an expense comment, and every expense needs a comment. So then you just click save, and yay, it saved your all of your information, and here it is in your report. And then you can just click submit. But before we click submit, I just want to show you one thing. So I'm just going to delete the expense report and the project ID, and hit save. And now we see this red exclamation point, and the red exclamation point is bad. I think before I showed you the duplicate, but here this says missing tag, you know, missing tag, and then it highlights it in red here for me and says, here's where you need to put in your project ID, or here's where your information is that you're missing. So again, I just say, okay, I'll fill this in. But suppose I don't want to, and I just hit save anyways, and then I go to submit. It still says, hey, you've got a missing tag, and you know, you don't really want to submit this and give it tomorrow with information that's missing. It'll make her cranky, and then she has to ask you questions for why the tag is missing and what it was for. So just cancel, go ahead and go back, fill in your information, and make everybody happy. So back to the ultimate. Save and submit. When you click on submit, and there are no policy violations, this is what you get. It says it's going to submit this report to finance, and that's what you want. Here's where you would CC your supervisor if you are submitting for woofer or certification or training and certification, or just in general. It's a good idea to CC your supervisors. So here's where you would type in their name. My supervisor is Stephanie. So as soon as I start typing, this whole list pulls up, and there she is. So it's simple. When you start typing your supervisor's list, your list is going to be much smaller than mine, so don't worry about it, or type in your whole supervisor's name. Memo could be, like, this is my final report, or, if you're someone who is working all summer but, needs their June expenses paid already, and you're submitting early, you can say, this is my first report, fill in whatever you can here to let us know. If you want a copy of your own report for your own records, you can choose send me a copy, attach a PDF, only if you want a copy of your report. Don't attach a PDF for me, I don't need it. All right, so then you just click submit, and away our report goes. And now you can undo submit if you forgot something. If you come back, in 2 days, it's not going to say undo submit anyways, but you can retract your report. Up here in the top left, you can hit retract. The report will come back to you, and you can edit and add more expenses, do whatever you like. Again, submit it. Since we scroll down here are the report comments section. I remember I talked about how you have an expense comment, now a report comment. Here's where you can type in a report and post it to me. A report comment and then post it to me. Anything that you put in here will be seen by everybody who can view the report. There is no @Mara to make it just a private message to me. No, if you submit this comment in here, everybody who reviews this report will see it. So that means it's going to go on to my boss, Stephanie, and possibly whoever you CC'd to submit this report to. So comments are visible to everybody. Okay, I think we're getting there. We're almost done. So once the report is submitted, it comes to me, I review it, I pass it up to Stephanie. She's the person who actually hits the reimburse button on your report, and again, that should take about a week. If you submit on a Monday, it should be reviewed by Wednesday, Thursday. It gets passed up to Stephanie. Stephanie should, by Thursday or Friday, be approving it, and she'll click reimburse, and then it takes 1 to 2 days, as long as you have a direct deposit account, 1 to 2 days for your reimbursement to get to you, and that's about it. I ran into this issue with my last, let me just see here. Yeah, no, I can't. I can't get to the help section for you to show you in Expensify. It was the last thing I wanted to touch base on. But anyways, here at the bottom of your Expensify is a a menu, and I can't see it because of my menu for this recording software, so it kind of blocks my my ability to show you the help button. Even here, when I bring it up here, I can't get over to it. Oh, look, there it is. And there it went. Let's see if I can bring it back. Bear with me, it's worth it, because it's funny. All right, maybe it's not worth it, guys. I can't get to the help. But anyways, when you choose the help button at the bottom, this is help from Expensify, and it brings up 3 different options. One is to go to their forums and check and see if anybody else is having the same issue as you. The other is a knowledge base based on their own employees saying, hey, this is important for you to know, look through that. And the last one is a chat button. And the chat is what I find funny, because if you choose the chat button, you don't actually chat with anybody. And they're brutally honest. It says, you know, someone will get back to you in the next 4 hours or 6 hours. So it's not an automatic chat. But those are the 3 options of getting help from Expensify. If you can't get help from Expensify themselves, and you think that I can help you with it, again, just send an email to Mara or finance @ and one of us will get back with you. Okay, so now what do? Our training is almost over, and so you can log into your Expensify, look around, go ahead and set up your settings in Expensify. You know, choose a picture, set up that bank account, and good luck here at Rustic. And if you have any questions, email us at finance @ I hope you enjoy your summer, and look forward to working with you all. Thanks.